no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a lie.
Hey,
I'm telling you the truth.
hey, it's all in what you do. Hey, some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, Barbershop Conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. So let's jump into this, man. Ruben Goucher does between 122 and peaks at 155,000, if that's what 155,000, and which is the build up and the lead in to the pay-per-view this Saturday. Now I'm just gonna tell all y'all that can hear my voice. Currently, as it stands, you're just fighting for a paycheck. There's no brand building. There is no like you walking down the street and people recognizing who you are. That is absolutely not a boxing pure enthusiast. I'm expecting if they got 155,000 on the building, I'm expecting 1/3 of this audience to pay for the pay-per-view. So I'm looking at 50,000, which equates to $3.75 million, which is basically a replacement of the arena with the fans. You know, the average fan is going to pay $75. In my humble opinion, I thought it was expensive. Because it's hard to build a brand in this America. You know, so much is going on. Brianna decision just came out today. We'll talk about that tonight. I'm compressing my emotions now to do this video, and we'll talk about that tonight with Sergeant Dorsey. She will be the key witness and the expert moving forward with what goes next. I encourage everyone to come on in and hear as she leads the conversation. But next fight, it's going to be less money. And then the next fight is going to be less money, you know, and that's just the reality of it, man. Showtime is not doing a good job at expanding their brand. It's just nothing you can say. Like, I didn't even know it was a press conference today. I got the announcement, you know how it pops up on your screen when they go live. I mean, on your phone. You know, not one mention of Breonna Taylor today from no fighter. Let's stay on topic, man. I don't know what flop or failure is in this market, but if this shit hits 100K, I will be shocked, you know. And it has a lot to do with fighters just accepting, and I'm talking about obviously the Charlos and Rosarios and who else? The other, who's Derevchenko, just accepting paychecks. You know, I don't know how much they're getting paid. Don't care. And the fact that they're going to do miserable numbers on pay-per-view will give them the winners and the losers on all 6 fights will give them no leverage moving forward. And with that being said, it's going to set a precedent for the salaries moving forward of fighters. And that's just the harsh reality of this, man. This is what executives want. They want to buy low. They want to buy low and sell high, you know. And I spoke about this with Earl Spence. Earl Spence got to be real leery of this, and Danny Garcia got to be real leery of this as well. You know, they're fighting on Fox, which will give them a boost. But at the end, because they'll appeal to a great audience, especially with that NFL contract. But Showtime, I don't know who's doing worse, Showtime or DAZN. You know, obviously Showtime has a better brain. You know, I would conclude that Steven Espinoza has a better brain than what's his name? Eddie Hearn, but it lacks the imagination of Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn came over here without context, without culture, without structure, and but he had a great imagination. And I'm comparing them two against one another. Maybe I'll do a video, Eddie Hearn versus. I'll repeat this in the video. So if you watch this, just don't need to watch that video. But Eddie Hearn versus Steven Espinoza. I'm the hard facts. Steven Espinoza has inroads in boxing, has inroads to the fighters, has inroads to locations and promoters and access to that Eddie Hearn was a preview to. But Eddie Hearn had the imagination. I mean, he didn't understand it moving forward, but you know, the fact that he knew who was who on Twitter, Instagram, in real life speaks volumes about where boxing is headed. Where boxing is headed, where boxing is today. And I think that Steven Espinoza and Showtime in general is just doing politics as usual. Hey, we get the arena, we bring the fighters in, and it's just politics. We just gonna promote the same way we do it. And there was minimum promotion for this fight, but they're just banking on 50,000 people just to pay for the, I believe $4 million. $4 million is not going to pay for pay for the fight itself, because you got four main event fighters. But $4 million will help. I think the goal is 50,000 pay-per-view buys. That's probably what they're on track for. And it's not an indentation. It's not an indictment on the Charlo brothers. You know, it's but they have to understand. And shout out to Jamel Charlo, man. He wore his Lions only gear to the press conference. I saw that. Smart man. Jamal had on a sweatsuit outfit. I better get all you can out of this. You better get all you can, because your next check is going to be less. And it's just because it's what the market bears, you know, and fans, you got to understand your value. You have to understand your value. And I don't know how many times I could say that on this channel. And the facts are the facts over feelings, right? You know, honesty over hating, you know, it's just a stone cold truth. Numbers are numbers. And if it's not going to make sense on your next fight, it's going to make sense now. You're a pay-per-view star. Well, you're a pay-per-view fighter. You're not a pay-per-view star. It's just the truth, man. Showtime is in trouble. Showtime is in big trouble, and they're going to have to pull money from outer resources to make things happen. I don't know how their subscription base is doing. I have no idea. I know they lost subscribers just because it's the COVID era, excuse me. And fans, I'm telling y'all, you, us, we have the power right now. And they're not going to tell y'all because they don't want y'all to know, you know. And their biggest fear is is me leading the voice, is me telling y'all, empowering y'all that y'all have the power. You understand? It's going to reign supreme, because many of y'all will be listening to Tony Harrison and I speak about the fight tonight, because many's $75 is too steep. 1, 2, many of y'all will have to work the third shift that night. So more than free. You got family events, or, you know, a lot of things, people getting married, you know, typical Saturday stuff. So I appreciate y'all in advance that's going to trust us to deliver the best content possible for Saturday. And I tell you what, Showtime better thank us. And I'm thinking, and imagine if I, meaning we, in social media didn't promote this fight, and they just trusted Up in the Smoke. I apologize. All the Smoke. This is no indictment on them. I'm just saying, if they just trusted how they did it, ringside by the, what's this? I don't want to get it right. He's gonna get mad at me. Ringside with the Lions. They're live. It wouldn't even hit 50,000. you got to reach the people, man. You got to tap into their imaginations, man. And moving forward, y'all fighters better learn. Y'all think fighting twice a year and only coming and popping out twice a year is gonna work? It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. But hopefully the Charlos. At the end of the day, I am rooting for the Charlos, and I do too agree with Steven Espinoza. These are the best fights that can possibly happen, given the situation. So that's the truth. So anyhow, man, these are the facts. And 155 low, high. So the median between 122 and 155, 125. Was it 140, 138? So the median is like 138,000. So 138,000 people watch that shit. Jeez. The reruns of Martin does that at 3 a.m. in the morning. You know what I'm saying? That's 380 million people in America, dog. So anyhow, man, that's less than 1% of the audience. Wow. Anyhow, man, Barbershop Conversations, man. Steven Espinoza, you better save yourself. You better save your job. Well, but it doesn't matter because you'll get another job moving forward. And you've done a good job in the past, but now now the pressure's on. Now you have to use your imagination with your intellect. It's kind of like raising a child when they go from a kid to high school. Like, you can't fight your child in high school. Like you can't physically impose yourself on a high school child. You have to intellectually discipline while encouraging them, and that's what Showtime is in the midst of. I saw Kelly Swanson down there. Why does she have a job? What is her purpose? For logistics? She doesn't even speak. Anyhow, man, she don't even speak Spanish on the Spanish card, man. I mean, none of her employees speak Spanish either, so what they gonna do? They got two guys, man. It is the worst. I mean, it is just for real. Showtime. For y'all to be so fucking smart, you're so stupid at the same time. So stupid at the same time. You hired two white guys for a weigh-in. Why not just one? At least have a guy who's bilingual. I mean, if you're not gonna hire a white dude, at least put Abner Mares in for the weigh-in. With the other, I don't even know their names, though. I don't even know what they look like. I just fast forwarded through it, man, because I caught it late because I didn't know it was on. So I just fast forwarded through them and I literally just listened to Jamel and Jamal. I didn't understand what nobody else was saying. No disrespect to them, but the presentation was terrible. The press conference questions were piss poor. This is a major network, supposedly, and I'm not shitting on them because I'm just telling the truth. People gonna get emotional and said, Fred, I'm just telling the truth. Just how I came on and said that 28-minute presentation of the Charlos was fantastic. Brian Custer did a phenomenal job. The production, the writing was excellent. And it took me down memory lane because I realized I've gone to Mel and Maul's, all the last 15 fights I've been to. I just realized that from 2014 on, I've been to all their fights, with the exception of the one before Christmas. That's the truth. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating. And the sad truth about it is I represent a lot of fans, and they got to take the time to appreciate that. They were on the Golden Boy banner. I remember that. They were fighting in those casinos. It's been some time. So anyhow, man, Stone Cold Facts, Showtime, y'all got to change some shit or boxing will be gone. And I know Steven, and that's Steven Espinoza's fun. That's the fun part of Steven Espinoza's job. I see it in his eyes. Like it gives him a level of coolness. It gives him a level of like, hey, I can do this. Like Steven Espinoza's most fun in his life, I mean, obviously outside of like the people he loved, is hanging out at fights, going to Super Bowls and all that stuff. When CBS puts on big events, the Final Four and shit like that. And what's the main ingredient to all that? Black athletes, black excellence, black habits. Shout out to D Smoke. At that press conference, I would have had a performer perform. This is a pay-per-view event. I would have had a concert from a remote location. Like, I would have did something, get us excited. How about Zero? How about Toby and Gigway? How about Houston? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how about some Houston talent, man? Something to rev up, get us excited. But no. Anyhow, politics as usual. Kelly Swanson will continue to parade, and Tim Smith will keep his job, and it's just all a bunch of charades. And fans, y'all gotta lean on me. All right, lean on me, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. All right. And we got to speak loud. When this, I'm just gonna keep it real. When this pay-per-view does below average numbers, then they're gonna realize. Like, man, the fans have spoken. They ain't. Anyhow, man. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.